Oh no, I have to go get my coffee. This is a sit-in. So first thing you need to do is get notebooks and papers because we're going to write down a lot. All right. So we have like a 3-layered schedule. We at this current juncture, so this is for all the red striping and the repello squibtum knotting, we're just beginning. Forgive the mess. We have a 3-layered schedule. We have like our 2-week schedule. We have our checklist daily of action items that we do daily. We're going to talk about that. We have our bad versions of our 2-week schedule where we learn our lessons in life. We have our, oh no, where'd it go? Where's my CC Pratt thing? Hold on. All right. We have our 1, 5, 10, 20. See how it's gotten dirty? It's still in effect. So this is like a month later for our mental body to have digested. And now we have blank pages. Ooh. All right. What you're going to do, you're going to get 2 blank pages. And you're going to create the 2-week schedule. And then you're going to make it into a 4-week schedule. Get it? So you can do that. Mine has the months, the days. Yay. Can I do this on the, no, you cannot do this on the computer. Get rid of your computer. You can have a blank one. Then you have your bad version of your 2-week schedule where you learn all your lessons and you can see like all the moons. We're going to write down all the moons. We're going to go through them together for the year ahead because we're going to talk about how to schedule with your astrology, not your personal astrology. Hint, hint, maybe if you're smart, like if you can see how your behavior, how you interface with like how the moon works, that's better. That's like advanced people. Oh my goodness. You should have a to-do list. So I have one extra page here for the checklist because I'm going to rewrite my daily checklist. This includes like AM, brush my teeth, dishes, coffee, walk. Like if I'm going to do daily plies, my daily push-ups, am I going to do my yoga just once for the week, etc. And then I'm going to have like a 2-week version of it right here. Like which all my ANR pages, I have to do my ANR Dragon 1, ANR Dragon 2, and then I have another ANR thing every day, and then I have Ravenclaw genetics pages to do every day. I have writing to do every day. I have a video class to do every day, right? I have backups and archives to do every day. My reading for the day needs to get done. Mosaics. I have I have the mosaics for life. For this or stuff. Gnarly. Shower, brush teeth, flossing, vacuum and laundry, even if it's on my daily checklist. Look, it's there on Saturday. Do you see this? Canceled out except for Saturday. And then we have the green woman drop, or like my Egyptian divorce ceremony. What am I going to do every Saturday for that? Is it going to be a candle? Am I going to drop? So like, what am I going to add to it on every Saturday? So this takes care of the psychosis in my brain. Let me say this again. When I have this, my brain, it's a Steve Jobs assignment. So now my mental energy at Hode is on autopilot. Let me say this again. My neural genesis brain energy that goes to calculating my to-do list, like that takes up all of my time and energy, is now on autopilot, and now I can free up my mind and my energy for Netzach at the least. And that's where I'm a witch. And when I'm thinking about my to-do list, I'm a muggle. Let me say this again. Witches understand code. I have 50,000 knots to do. Let me say this again. I have 50,000 knots to do just to enter the house of Ravenclaw. Let me say this again. I have 50,000 knots. So I have 15,000 hours of knotting to do just to enter the house of Ravenclaw. If I use my brain energy for my to-do list and then rewriting my to-do list and then figuring out how awful my to-do list was instead of doing a knot, I am in Hode instead of Netzach. So when I'm in my knotting, when I'm in my Repello squib tub knotting, I'm in Netzach time. When I'm in to-do list, then I'm in Hode muggle time, and that's disgusting. And I can't not do it. Let me say this again. I can't bypass Hode and become a dirty hippie. I'm not allowed that, where my life looks like a disaster and my website looks dumb. No, Netzach is optimum Hode. Let me say this again. Netzach doesn't drop below Hode. Netzach is optimum Hode. Can you imagine going to see a Kusama exhibit and all of the mirrors looked dirty or filthy and they were all like disjointed because she didn't know how to use a ruler? Let me say this again. Can you imagine if you went to a Kusama exhibit and the the work didn't look pristine. Do you know how dumb you are? Did you guys watch James Cameron's Avatar 2? Did you see how filthy everything looked? That looked like Hode. It didn't look like Netsock. It looked like a robot made that movie. It didn't look like an artist made that movie. Understand it. So you are required to produce optimum level to-do lists. And we're going to do it with astrology. Let me say this again. We're going to do it with astrology. So we're going to start looking at how Mercury influences. And we're going to look at how Venus influences. And we're going to look at how the moon influences. And we're going to build our schedule. And we're going to build mine based off of like, we're going to go through it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the moon. So I'm going to go get a blank sheet of paper and we're going to fill in our new moons on each side. And we're going to go to 111. So the first new moon, like we have our little moons from up here, which were from Christmas and from Thanksgiving. Okay. So these are our older moons. And then this first one's January. This is the no moon. I'm going to go with the share screen, but I need to show you how we're going to do it first. So you're going to put a nice black dot a few lines down, and we're going to go through July on the first page. And then we're going to go, yeah, so just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moons down. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moons down. And that goes through February of 2024. And we're going to go over the astrology of just the moon. And we're going to talk about like how to think about what classes we're going to be producing in those months with that astrology. We're going to talk about what books are being assigned that match that astrology. We're going to talk about what Kabbalah classes that I'm making that are going to go along with that astrology. So, and we're going to also talk about like the exercise levels or the types of healing that would come through at ultimate levels through that type of astrology. Scripts, like which scripts am I going to write based off of that current month's astrology? Because I will be receiving those downloads, it actually works with the universe instead of, oh, I'm going to throw a bunch of scheduling at myself and then only just work by the whims and flows and ebbs and flows like a psycho all day long. And that's what a crazy hippie feels like. So first we're going to go and we're gonna do like let's get another piece of paper and let's go through all our moons and write out at least we have January and February, the half moons also, and we're gonna go over the year. So let's go, we're gonna get screen share screen. So we're going to go over the moon phases for 2023. And we're just going to go and we're going to get the dates for everything. So here are our new moons. Here are our full moons. So here's our new moon on January 21st. New moon, February 20th. So you should be writing out. I'll do it with you. I'll do a brand new level. Hate being redundant. That's not really redundant. I'm going to do it with you. So I can see what it would feel like in the timeline. All of this is recycled paper. So now I need a book to write on. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do our first page, which is just to put in those black dots. So I got 7 black dots. And then we're going to name our moons. But first we need to get all the dates for everything. I'm going to teach you how to read the sky a little bit. And that comes with age and experience. It comes with like a decade of kind of astrological knowledge and experience to just look at the sky guide and go, I know what the weather's going to be like. It's very different than Western astrology. Western astrology is the people, it's like the reptile people that couldn't figure out they had to do 10 times the work. And they decided to cheat at everything, and they're trying to make believe new systems into the world that are not accurate. So it's kind of like they refuse to acknowledge what the sky actually says, and they want to hold on to lineage dogmas. And that's bad hode. That's really bad hode. So working off of actual Netzach, where the stars and the moon and everything actually is the magical version, and that is at a baseline. So here are my 7 dots. I only did a few lines in between, and that's not great, but I'm going to do another 7 dots. And if you want in the middle of each of the black dots to put a white dot, that's cool. That will give you an idea. So this is our moon cycles, our new moons are like the new energy for like a whole, it's like a whole new baby of like living existence. That's why it feels very different in every month. But like this new moon is not going to feel the same as the new moon of last January at this time. So it doesn't work to have the same, like nobody says like the strawberry new moon is this new moon every single time, unless they do. I haven't seen it. I've only seen it on the full moons. But these moons are really, I like it that it's the creative moon. It's a black dot, so it's new creation material. So we have a new name for it every single time, just based off of the astrological weather. So I'm going to put 8 dots here because we're going to go into March. Because, and then March, it starts to speed off a little bit. But the year of 2024 is dark. Let me see this again. This year is supposed to be kind of light. 2023 is light, and 2024 is not. So we're going to go through like a different level of astrological weather because of just where Venus is in the sky. And we're going to talk about that later. But it comes after Christmas of next year. So it comes after Christmas of 2023. And then it also is in the fall, like Fairy New Year of 2024. So it's not, those are the two real, like, where we have to fight umbrage. Let me say that again. The fall of 2024 is like umbrage comes to town in life, and we have to deal with it. So let's go through these new moons. So on my black dot, so I'm gonna put a white dot at it halfway through on each of them also, just so I can get the dates. I don't schedule around the full moons, but I definitely want to know when they are. Not knowing when they are is weird. Especially if you consider yourself an alchemist in any capacity. There's a reason why the half moon is called the alchemist moon. Let me say this again. There's a reason why the half moon is called the alchemist moon. Okay, so if you consider yourself a practicing witch, you should also consider yourself as an alchemist, 100%. So you should be conscious and cognizant 100% of the half moons. So if you left yourself enough space, you could at least do the half moons in the next section. So the one closest to your new moon is going to be black on that side. So this is the new, yeah. So this is your, what do we call it? We call it our waning moon. So that's is our waxing moon. So I think of it as it's waning in the, so it's, we're gonna deal with it. Just get your moons done. And then we have dates we have to put on everything. Now we're not going to go over all of the half moons. You're going to do that on your own. But you're going to at least know when the dates are. When I do my schedule, I know what sign my half moon is currently residing in. And I have an idea of what the alchemy is for that week. Let me say this again. I do have a general idea. Yeah, so like that would be video 19.3, and we're doing 19.2. So I just have one page done and I'm already feeling like I want to start writing the dates down. So I'm just gonna go quickly on the back side. You know, when you get trigger happy, we're all gonna get really trigger happy because now we're starting to gain power and intelligence, and we're gonna start feeling like making stupid decisions is smart. And that's when we start doing our nodding in life and go back to our A&R work. But it's the same, like taking out, doing shortcuts. So almost done. That wasn't so bad. All right, so my general thing looks like this. Ah, yeah, there. If I had another line, I would have separated it. If I was smarter, I would have done it nicer. Let me say that again. If I was smarter, I would have done the new moon, like I would have put the blank line before. So just know if I make mistakes, I don't rationalize it with, oh, that was just my intuition. Let me say this again. My intuition is Netzach. It's not Ravenclaw. Let me say this again. My intuition is Netzach. It's not Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw is science. Okay, do we get the difference? All right, so I love initial intuitions, and then we improve with science, and then that becomes Ravenclaw. Yeah. So it becomes left brain measurements, A/B testing, variables testing, logical fallacies, where are they? all of that good stuff. And then like, what's the CRI rating on everything? So I know that I'm going to receive the ultimate return for what I put out there. Because there's a cause and effect scenario with every single thing I create. Let me say this again. There is a cause and effect scenario with every single thing that I create. And then I'm bound by it. I'm not above what I create. I'm not divorced. Like, I can't just put something out there and then think that somehow I am not the person who put it out there. Okay. Let's start with our dates. So we go new moon, January 21st, 121. Then we go 220. So we're just doing the new moons first. Then we go 3, 21. Then we go 4, 20. Then we go 5, 19. We go 6, 8, yeah, 6, 18. And then we go 7, 17. Then we're going to turn our page. Now we're going to start looking and seeing what the pattern of the dates are. We're going from a 2/3 the month into a 1/3 the month year. Let's say this again. What does that do? We're going from the 20s into the 10s this year for our new moon. What does that do? So we're going to have to look at that as a science. It might take us a decade to figure that out. But just based off of a numerology, what does the numerology do? From an alchemical Kabbalah standpoint, it looks like we're in high Yesod and we ground into earth element significantly by the end of next year. So that's what that feels like to me. Just from, so just know that the days might be like. All right, so now we go, August 8/16. September 9/15. October 10/14. November 11/13. December is 12/12. And then January is 1/1. And then I'm just gonna go February. I don't have the date. Or 1/11. February, and then we got March. Okay, so all that's dated. Go through and do your full moons. Your full moons on yourself. Like do all that stuff yourself. We'll cover that in another video. Okay, so we're just gonna look at our scheduling because we're doing stuff mostly based off of the new moons and we have to even cover everything. You should also have a notebook like this. Let me show you. Because this moon has this action item organization list on it. My no moon. And then the next moon has this to-do list action item on it. So you'll actually break down your year of to-do list in a notebook and it will look like God. It will look like God. So I have 500 classes I'm teaching and they're all in my notebook so my brain doesn't go insane. And then I can feel intelligent instead of psychotic because I can just relax into my schedule that I put together for the year. Okay. So here is our dot list. Again, here's our dot list. We're only focused on the new moons. Do you see how this is all scribbles and scrap? So we're gonna do that. First, you should have like a junk to-do list. So my junk to-do list looks like this. No. open a new window. There we go. Let's go to Facebook. There's my cousin. That's Dana and Phil. Nobody talks to me. They all starved me to death and watched me get tortured, and they don't talk to me. But they pretend they're good, happy millennials. Kelly talks to me. They all are 100% awesome. Okay, so my junk to-do list. Yeah. Looks like, oh no, okay. So if you've seen any of the posts that I put online, where's Kelly? Where's Kelly? Are here. So my junk to the 500 classes beneath Kelly. And then there's 500 classes beneath Isla. Not that one. Where's Isla? So it's a bazillion pieces of data. There's Chris. All right, so here's Isla. There are 590 comments, and then we added another 200 classes for Ravenclaw. So I had to write down all of that. Is that from Kelly? Yeah, there's Kelly. Okay. My to-do list looks like those classes. Then it also looks like the book list year number 1. And then it also looks like all of the scripts that I have to write. Now, we broke down my intentions to do script writing. Where is it? Now I feel like a narcissist. We broke down all the scripts in like the years. My first year, this is my goal. My second year, this is my second, third, fourth, and fifth and sixth year, like 5 years out. Here are my scripts that I want to write. Okay. 10 years out, here are my scripts. 20 years out, here are my scripts. So I already had a mental conception of what I want to get done just this year. Next year, you guys will also do another 1, 5, 10, 20, but it should be like year 2. And you should move it over a notch, right? Like I should be at yoga 2 times a week in my year 1 next year. But for this year, I'm just at 1 time a week. Okay, so I have like 10 scripts I want to write. I said the Coffee Black Pilot, DCP, Hode, Netzach, and Tiferet. And I want to write the Tao. Let me say this again. I have scripts I want to write. The Coffee Black Pilot, the Tao, DCP Hode, DCP Netzach, and DCP Tiferet. So those are like a Lewis Black CD. So I think from like a 10-minute to an hour long like bit, right? I'm producing a Kabbalah knowledge level intelligence, and like how do I make it into a real comedy production? Even if it's not even funny and it's just this scrap and it's based off of ironic tragedy, we can turn it into something funny. Sometimes it's just the delivery, and sometimes it's the deliverer. So the point is to start getting the material written anyway. Okay, now I'm also looking at my 1 class a day. I need to do my intro into genetics, music theory classes. I need to be in mini explosion. I need to be in my general workout. I have all my 12 books, and then I have, again, 1 Ravenclaw class a day. So how do I fit that in my schedule? And here it is for the year. Here are 200 Ravenclaw classes at least. And then how do I do it with the weather? And 200 Ravenclaw classes, 12 books, and like 10 scripts. Now, when you're talking about creative, we're creatives. We're not going to a desk job and answering the phone and saying, hi, how do you do? We're downloading from elevated creation materia from the universe. So working with the actual natural astrology patterns is mandatory. We can only birth what Mother Nature can produce for us. So it's really it's mandatory to work off of the current weather, that we even look at how we see life. Oh no, what is that? Do you see how much I'm a mess? I can only imagine what you guys are like. Unless it's Kelly. Okay. So let's go back. So we have moon magic. So if you guys have gone to my moon magic page, here is our, I normally do a new artwork every year, but last year's artwork was so rad, we're never getting rid of it, at least for the next decade. Let me say this was so good, we're not getting rid of. So this is the thing about Netzach. When you reach high Netzach, it's at such a nice quality that it goes Hierophant Alpha, and then you keep it and you don't throw it away. Let me say this again. When you reach a Hierophant design level, when it's such an elevated form of Netzach, you keep it and you do not throw it out. You don't rebrand. You don't. So when you have a developed product, that's all like that. It's platinum. It's classic and it stays there. Think of how much work you have to do to even get to a piece of artwork. Like, I'm not going to redo this piece of artwork. I'm not going to redo this piece of artwork. I'm not, like, that's a junk thought almost always. Oh, almost every single thing you guys have seen out there is like junk unless it belongs at the V&A, which is the Victoria and Albert. Yeah. It's like Queen Victoria and Albert, which was her husband, I believe. And they made the museum out of love. So like the Getty is gross. So here are all the different moons, and we go through the actual weather, and my readouts are really good. I'm going to get more articulate through time and much more precise, but the general weather pattern, which is what we're going to go over today, has been pretty good, and it's just that. So we're going to go over our new moons live in this class for the next year so that we can even think about what we would put So we're gonna talk about the moon and what the moon is for. Maybe that's when I want to do that project. Maybe that's when that project feels right. Because it kind of goes along with the same energy. And then my schedule doesn't look dumb. I have never met anybody on this planet who didn't have a dumb schedule. Let me say this again. I have not met one person on this planet who didn't have the world's dumbest schedule. I have never seen anybody have an intelligent schedule ever. Ever. Maybe somebody like Gordon Ramsay. Let me say that again. People who have to create 5-star Michelin chef restaurants that take in seasonal ingredients and have to master plan ahead of time based off of the weather, the farmer's almanac level weather, everybody's sicknesses and psychosis, and still put together an A-list show every single day like clockwork. I have never seen anybody on this planet have an amazing schedule ever. Probably somebody like Gordon Ramsay. Hollywood's schedule is this. I am just the amount of money, time, and energy I have watched everybody throw down the drain is bizarro. So that kind of waste is narcissism. This is anti-narcissism. This is I am empathetic to my own scheduling, my own higher self's desire to create miracles for the planet. Let me say this again. This is I am selfless and empathetic to my higher self's desire to produce miracles for the planet. Good schedule equals good outcome. Bad schedule equals this. So let's go over the moons. So if you hear the whales screaming in the background, it's because I have the Orca cam playing live. It eats up memory, but it's like peace to my brain. Okay, so we're gonna look for our moons on a daily basis. So we're gonna go, so we're the right year, we have the right day. Oh no, I'm gonna have to go tell Simon to go shut his door because he's not listening to me ever at all. He has zero respect for this class. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna look for the moon. So here's our moon. All our new moons are right where the sun is. So it's kind of in Sag. It's kind of in Capricorn. I just say Capricorn. I'm going to say the no moon. And I'm going to draw it with the astrology symbols. I don't know my astrology symbols. That's dumb. I know I'm lying to myself when I don't do it in Sag, but still, it's close enough. What it is it's like, it's the tail of Sagittarius, and then it's the tail of Capricorn. So it's still just the no moon. So what this is, what we've named this moon, is the 7th house Netzach or Die Nexa gate. So it's like Dumbledore's Law moon. So it's like you're gonna double or stripe, or you're not making it up the tree of life. You're not allowed in Netzach unless your soul contract is at double or striping. To be manifested in the flesh. And that's not your soul contract, that's your conscious will and intent contract, which will be tested daily. Ascended masters do not require nagging. Let me say that again. Ascended masters do not require nagging. So it's the Nexagate moon. So this is what I wrote. 7th house Netzach or Die Nexagate. You see how it's flipped on this? Again, it's, you know what we can do? We can do this. Oh no, not the amp sign. So this whole month is for people to decide ascension or not decide ascension. So they will be receiving red striping intelligence. Let me say this again. They will be deciding whether they choose to live on this planet or not live on this planet. They will be receiving red striping downloads, or they will not be receiving red striping downloads. So that's what this moon is. All right, let's go to the next moon. Red striping. Do you wish to live on this planet? Do you wish to ascend into the Hogwarts system? You will be tested to double or stripe for the rest of your life. So that's Bina, that's an adult. That's a professional adult magician, ascended master. Will you reach professional adult? So a Gryffindor is a child, And an Auror is an adult. Yeah. So you will be asked to double Auror stripe. So it's a double Auror stripe soul contract. That's a contract. Let me say this again. It's a contract. You're required to do it. If you do not do it, it's a confession. That means you go back to Hode with the Muggles. Or get put into Azkaban. Not joking. All right. So you'll be required at that level 5,000 hours trash pickup. 5,000 hours Repello Squibtum. Whoa. Nodding. Now this could be your next lifetime because you die or because you're old. 10,000 hours, house nodding. $10,000 hours, 7th house nodding. Blue marks. A&R paperwork. Pink marks. A&R paperwork. And then that's also including Auror stripe paperwork. Here's our 7th house. 100 dragons, blue marks. 2nd Auror stripe. Now, this is because the planet decided to cheat, lie, and steal. Everybody on the planet decided to become demons. So it was required at this level for the current state of human consciousness, required a 7th house Netzach to move forward into an ascension. Let me tell you this. After starving and then being left to be knife raped for 2 years without one person coming to aid in the physical, the planet ascension was canceled. And there are always exemptions for 7th house. So you can ascend the tree of life if you do 7th house work. That is your grace from God. There is nothing more. That's that new moon. So all the Ravenclaw classes are about 7th house Netzach. It's all the red striping videos. It's about Slytherin, the glitter children, the Slytherin A&R children. What else? The 2-inch genetic separation between us and other people. Like Ratziel's security video. Hackney Mosaic Project is going to go in there. The Maleficent Hand, the 5-stripe Auror, what that looks like. The 2-stripe Auror class. And then we go, what is the book that I'm going to read? So I have the section for all my classes, but in there is I have the book for the month. So that book is going to be Alan Watts, Becoming Who You Are. So I am going to self-realize from a 7th house perspective. Now, if you're a real saint or a real ascended master, this was on your to-do list anyway, and you go, yes, that's all I ever wanted to do to begin with, and now I have an excuse. Now, if you're not a saint or ascended master, this looks like assault. And Mother Earth goes, I don't care. Period. Seriously. All right. February 20th, the next moon. Let's get that one going. All right. So here we see the moons in Aquarius. And do you see how all the planets are aligned? It almost looks like a mastery moon. Oh my God. So we have everything in one nice swoop. We have Saturn, Mercury, Pluto, Moon, Neptune, Venus, Jupiter. So everything's aligned right here at Aquarius. So we're calling this the Ravenclaw Emotional Healing Moon. So you can see it again. It's the Ravenclaw Emotional Healing. All of this is just water. And it's on around Aquarius. So this is our master healing moon. Do not write it small. I have to see it big. Yeah. So this is really good for like, so it's like ascended master looking, alignment, deep healing, rape trauma, deep tissue, medical, emotional healing, emotional healing, tantra bathing. What else? We call it mer bathing. So mer bathing is also like ophanium bathing, where you can do ophanium grids in your bathing. Maybe let's put that on another line. So this is like deep therapeutic processing. We call it like, so 5-hour mer bathing. So the classes we're gonna do is the PTSD class, post Gabra bounce back class. Like I made it through Gabra and I have assault issues. The rape trauma class. We're gonna do the blue marks, pink marks. We're gonna do swear words be gone. We're also gonna do like tantra bathing class. We're gonna do dragon cleaning during this month. We're gonna do a fox ghosting class. We're gonna do Shaddai El Hai for Hesed. The FFFFF class, which is the no matter how light I am, it's just F because I'm a woman. So it's just that it's just the F period class. Ravenclaw is filled with the funniest women on the planet class. So it's deep healing and intuition insight. So these are the things that I think about. I'm like jotting them down as I see this, and I go, what's the book on our reading list for the year that I would like to add? And that's we're gonna lean in. So we're gonna talk about, like, book is Becoming Who You Are. And then here is our book, and it's Lean In. So you understand how the emotional flow is all, like, my classes that I'm going to write are kind of similar to just the book. So, like, even a book like Eat, Pray, Love would be nice in this section. Or the vagina monologues. We're gonna talk about that. That one's more down the line. That's the I Get to Be an Asshole moon. And we're gonna do the She Said Discourses classes in that month. All right. So Ravenclaw Emotional Healing Moon. We're also going to go through Mercury, and we're also going to go through Venus, retrogrades, and some of the astrology issues. Yeah. So I'm just kind of blocking out so it's not as annoying. So this is 321. So we have, I'm going to show you the first thing that I'm going to see. The first thing I see is Neptune's right here and Uranus is right there. And so I'm thinking this is kind of funky and it's disjointed and it's in Pisces. So it's a little bit like this. So if you know what the Two of Pentacles looks like, it looks like the guy balancing the, he's like, so that's what this in Pisces. So we're going to use this moon as kind of like a fluff moon. I'm calling it the prepping writing moon. So I see like Uranus is creative, Neptune's creative, Jupiter's super creative. And then you have Saturn's over here, like biting your bum. So, and like, where is Mars? Where's Mars? So we see that Mercury's over there. Like, where's Mars? So that's there. Mars is the ass kicker. Oh no, that's gonna give me a headache. Okay, we're dead. I don't want to do that ever again to you guys. All right, that was miserable. I can tell. All right. So we're here in Pisces. So what's the astrology for Aquarius is the waves, and then for Pisces it's this fish thing. I don't know what that thing like what is that thing? So I think of Pisces and I think of Hathor. So I think of the H, like it Hathor is really strong, but she's Hufflepuff. And so when I think of Pisces, I think of that, like the symbol is Hathor. And so it's kind of like heart centery and it's kind of like fluffy and it's kind of not really solid, but super strong and emotional and emotionally intelligent and strong. So we're prepping writing moon. So this is it's like fluffy, not much substance. It's awkward, especially with where Neptune and Uranus are. And like Saturn's kind of like looking over its shoulder. Yeah. So we can just say Two of Pentacles came up in this conversation. And then we see Mercury's right there too with Neptune. So Mercury would be like you're right, right, right. Okay, so that like Mercury is definitely in this little cluster. So it's like prepping right. Or prepping communicate, but it's probably prepping right. If you're a composer, everybody's got something they're writing. Whether it's like a music, whether it's like the outlines for a drawing they're doing, that's like a pictographer, painter thinks in like, so that's a type of writing also. And so the classes we're going to do here are like the CRI research, the mental bodies, the 72 like mental body 22 and 23, which are about the wands. We're going to talk about the Zodkiel Patronus charm, which is kind of funky. We're going to do the tarot. We should be marking that tarot again. Script writing 1, like I have to go through all of Aaron Sorkin's masterclass, and we're gonna do the script writing 1 class, which is like intro into script writing. It's probably about conceptualization from idea into like how to put it into words and paper. We're gonna talk about mirror prism rewrites and maybe narrative reconstruction. Why Auntie Ray Ray did not build out Hode yet. So anything weird or awkward, maybe like missing inconsistencies. And so then we go, what book? What's our book that we're going to read? And we're going to read Emerson. We are the builders of our future. All right. Do you see how that kind of flows? Emerson, I'm not going to put Emerson in the Ravenclaw emotional healing. Yeah, so this is just kind of what works. It just works. All right. I know my computer's slowing down because I'm like at full capacity. Okay. Next moon is, if you go through all of them, I'm gonna die. And then I realized I needed all of them. That's what somebody's saying. If I go through every single one of these moons, they're gonna die. Okay. So we're in April. The amount of time I've already put into this class is like 20 hours just to get 10 different schedule layouts to then create a year schedule. It's like doing your taxes, but like, so the 20 hours I put into this creates a miracle instead of narcissism. It's the opposite of narcissism. So it's still in Pisces. So here we go. And we're going to say start writing. This is we're like start writing moon. I don't know why, because now we're going into Aries. This is a start writing moon. So here we go. We finally put a script. We have the coffee black script. So maybe start your production. If you're a designer, just start your real work. Start production. Start scripts. So for these months, I'm in archive mode. I'm in archiving. I'm going through Facebook and I'm collecting everything that me and Chris Pratt talked about in the astral planes. If you can't stand the video doesn't match my lips because it's on delay, I'm sorry. But so I have 3 months of archiving to even start writing. So here we go. Here are the scripts. So then I have like my classes that I'm going to put online, or like the classes I'm going to put online are like the Ashtanga yoga. This is one of the 72 names of God. So now I'm 3 months into Ashtanga yoga. Mastering the Great Table, the full mental alchemist circle. We're going to do we're doing mental bodies. We're going to do Mother Andromeda's mental bodies. We're going to do the class called Working with Hierophant Educators. We're going to do the Ravens and Crows class. And we're going to do the Archangel Sandalphon's Never Coming Unless It's Amy Poehler. We're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to go into, so those are the classes, scripts, and then we have the book I have to read. And we do the videos on the books. We're going to do all the book review. So the scripts are, we're gonna write scenes in the Tao. We might have scenes from Dust that come up. That's not really on my schedule, but it kind of always is. There are always like weird little things that show up. Copy Black Pilot. And then Hode DCP. So I have the weather now where I can look at, I've been bashing my brain. Why can I not get Hode DCP written? Well, the astrology wasn't really good for it yet until this month. Let me say this again. I have been hammering my brain about a script I was not able to write until the astrology was even right for it 2 years later. So the astrology is ripe. So I test, I look, I ping. Is the astrology right for, like, it's not really right for Dust. So we'll take that out. Like the astrology is right for the Tao. It's right. It's definitely right. It feels like the Coffee Black show. When I intuitively read this astrology screen, I look at the Coffee Black Pilot and that's exactly where it is. And then I look at Hode DCP and I get like first 5-minute bit idea from Hode DCP. Okay, so, and then we go to book. What book am I going to read? And we go, we're going to read The Alchemist. I've never read The Alchemist. Now, you can see how the book is going to influence the Coffee Black and the Hode DCP. But also the Emerson book and Lean In and Becoming Who You Are will also influence the Coffee Black Pilot 100%. And it will also influence the Tao bits and scenes that I download. And it will influence our Hode program. Do you see when you're a creator to work in a synergistic fashion with, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of high level content, like multiple content, like you're multitasking because you're an efficient human. Okay, so start writer's room. So like Aaron Sorkin comes in and goes, start writer's room, moon. So that's his edition that just come in. He flies in and tells me weird stuff all the time. All right. Like get up at 5. Right now I'm getting up at 6. We've been getting me up at 6. So we're working on it. And I know I need to get up at 5 still. All right, so then we have 5, 19. So here we are, it's in the ass of Taurus. Yes, with Uranus right there and Jupiter behind with Mercury. So I get to be an asshole. We're calling this I get to be an asshole mode. So we're gonna do our Taurus sigil. We write it down. So I know that so here I go back to my pages and I write these other things. I have the water, and then I have the Pisces sign 2 times in a row, and now I have the Taurus sign that looks like the bull. And I'm gonna make sure I know all my astrology symbols because it's dumb to not know them. Yeah, that's the law in life. Okay, I get to be an asshole moon. Now I'm gonna go look, and I'm gonna look at the classes I'm gonna teach. I get to say the things I need to say. Okay, so that's really all and it's fine. And it's fine if it's sucky. So the classes are like the she said discourses. So here are my version of the vagina monologues, but it's not about the vagina monologues. It's the sides of the storyline of marginalized or disenfranchised women because the book, the protagonist was always the male. So even if you had a character like Galadriel, you have no idea how much work Galadriel ever did, even if it was 5 billion times the work. Like somehow Hermione Granger is the secondary character in Harry Potter instead of the primary character in Harry Potter, even though she does 5 billion times the work. Let me say that again. So Katniss got, like, that was God. So the she said discourses are from the female point of view from all of the marginalized characters. It like Rey is not really like nobody cares about how Rey thinks or feels when she has to deal with Kylo all day long. We seem to know more about Kylo Ren than Rey in actuality. So weird. And that's just life. So any of the weird angles that are Hermes Lilith characters, I will be producing their she said angle from the frame of that movie industry complex or conglomerate. So that's the she said discourses, at least the intro we will be doing. Kali Ren, just stop. Number 2. The Black Lives Matter movement. So your personal Black Lives Matter movement. We have Nuo Unos autism. I live in a prison tomb. So, like, are you two-stepping? Yeah. So I get to be an asshole moon, period. So this is where you step into your Black woman self and make sure that you get to be heard instead of wallflowered. So the book that we are reading is the marriage. I have a broken typewriter on top of it. Marriage and relationships with Asperger's. I don't know how to spell Asperger's. That's how I spell Asperger's. So I just go ASP or autism. This is just sorry Asperger's community. I am one of you. So we're doing the Neo Eunice autism at the same time as reading the autism book. Shocking. And then we're going to also do, so what are our scripts we're going to write is we have Coffee Black episode 2. Now we can really go into this because of how Emma's character can't relate to anybody because she's too intellectual. That goes with the autism and Asperger. Do you see how like she is gonna be the asshole in that character in the whole Coffee Black episode? It's not the pilot. It's the shining star episode. It's the episode where like the main character like actually reveals themselves instead of like introduces themselves, and you find out who they really are. Like in Newsroom, it was like a shining star moment for the newsroom guy in the first 5 minutes. So that was his intro, like come and find out who I really am. And in the second episode, he was a total dud. And that's who he was in the show in general, is like he was actually in reality a total dud. So we have Coffee Black episode. We still have Ho DCP. We have the Dow. Next. So I'm not going to write the classes again, but you guys have a really good idea. (618) of like how the classes and the book and the scripts that I would write would all merge together. I get to say the things I need to say, and it's fine if it's sucky. So 618 is this. So do we consider this Taurus or Gemini? We're saying this is still in Taurus. This is the I will pop your bubble mood. Because it was like the bullhorn of Taurus was literally, yeah, the sun right here. I will pop your bubble. And it goes into Gemini. So Taurus also works with Hierophant energy, the Hierophant cards. So we're going to do a lot of the classes are going to be like Harvard, prepping for the 1-year Kabbalah program, basic Malkuth, prepping like CRI return class. The Matilda phenomenon, what it is like to be 5 times the intelligence around other people while they try to kill you because you're the good person. More mental bodies. So that's the general idea. Like, we're popping people's bubbles with like just higher levels of intelligence and it will blow their brains apart, just like a Matilda phenomenon. Like you can do what? Like, so their brains explode because they lived a really tight matrix or concept of reality and it was dumb. They were dumb. So this is the I will pop your bubble moon. I will pop your bull moon. Same thing. The book we're going to read is Who Moved My Cheese? So maybe it's being done to us also. Maybe God's going to pop our bubble. We're going to blow people away with new intelligence. A new paradigm structure. Who moved my cheese? All right, so then we go scripts, same scripts, same scripts. So you see, I have HOD, I have NetZoc DCP on here also, but NetZoc DCP is not in the astrology. This astrology is still at HOD DCP. Can you understand that? Can you see that? Can you see how like each of my episodes are like a theme? So I can have like my Coffee Black TV episode here that I'm going to write is going to be written under this theme. Even if it's like a weekly show, like I'm going to produce this for HBO or a television network like HBO or better. That's my intention. So I want this well written. So if my episode is surrounding all the life lessons and understanding for the month that I received, it works together and it creates better material that's deep. Let me say this again. It's deep. It's profound and it's fresh. It's fresh. So it's not like yesterday's lesson, yesterday's aha moment. That's junk. You should have 50 aha moments a day, especially if you're in the Ascended Master world. God. Okay, so now we go 7/17. This one we're gonna do. This one's our 69 Cancer moon. We're calling it the interesting moon. So you can see how we're picking the pace up. What? Did I do that wrong? No, I did not do that wrong. What is that? 7/17. So it's not the Cancer moon. The next one's the Cancer moon. So it's Gemini. So sometimes I read it wrong, but it's still interesting. You see how they're interested in talking to each other? Here's Gemini. They're into each other. And then there's Mercury. That's we're interested in each other. So we're calling it the interesting moon. So I need to fix that because it's not a 69. It's a Gemini. That's fine. I made my one mistake. People are laughing at the type of mistake that I make in life versus some other people make. Oh no. All right. We are interested talking with each other. Yeah. That's basically like we are interested in each other. So we're gonna put the scripts are the same. It's another Coffee Black episode. So maybe this is where a big breakthrough happens in the episode. Like an emotional breakthrough happens between the characters. And they actually are able to communicate. Maybe it's like a team building. Maybe it's like the partners are like finally breaking through their emotional barriers and figuring out how to handle each other. The point is that when I write my scripts, I'm educating a populace about potential opportunities or potentialities that they can decide to use. So when I illustrate a concept for somebody in a medium like a television show or like a movie, they can then think about it in their brain and then make better decisions in their life, even if they're just in the Muggle world. It still works. Like how my mother thought about reality just by watching a movie like or a TV show like Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman was completely like that was my mother's show. And then Grey's Anatomy. So it was that my mother became better as a human by watching these shows and being able to relate to the characters, even if it was just a nonsense movie or television show. So I, as a Kabbalah teacher, have to do 50 layers of educational development to understand the deep levels of nuance I'm going to put in the subtext of all the writing to make sure the message that I'm communicating is right on, and bringing up all the controversy and all of the like the weird ideas that are floating around, like how to handle really weird disease scenarios from like perverse levels, because it's going to be an FBI show. So it'll be like they don't really cover the like cop shows don't really cover the emotions as much as they could, and they don't cover like Chris Boss levels of empathy in dealing with hostage scenarios, which is a lot of what the show will be, and how to connect and relate to your opposing partner, so you're not doing this all day long. So you're actually learning how to like build a bridge to create resolution. So that's like an important show to me. And so like we are interesting together. Like we're gonna talk, we're gonna see eye to eye. So that astrology is gonna 100% show up in this episode. I guarantee it. I will pop. So then we have the book. And we're going to do someday a bird will poop on you. Now we're going to be talking about the classes. We're going to go in and we're doing the one-sided guru delusions. We're going to be talking about like what happened with Brooke and Star and Teresa Ibis and Goodney. People who are like in ascended master, like absolute fight for the planet desire, who would pay them fortunes, and they would sit on the other side of the podium and preach at us and never return anything, and it was only a one-sided relationship. So we're gonna go over those classes. Do you see how that fits in the interesting section? We're also going to go over the Sphinxes class, like how to turn what you need into a class. There are others. So that's the general idea. I'm doing this whole class, this 19.2 video is done in the order of which I did it. So you guys understand from a brain perspective, this is how we began everything. So interesting. So we should do it like this. Gemini. Um, Taurus. I'm gonna go Pisces. I'm gonna let you guys take some time and think about your stuff. PIS. So when I look at the astrology, like Gemini is like, how do I align with somebody? And then Taurus is like, how do I butt heads? Like how do I go to war, but like in a Ravenclaw way, smarter way. Like Aries is like, that's another butt heads, but like in a different way. Scorpio is, how do I go fuck somebody? Sagittarius is more like a Katniss thing. Capricorn, like no moon. That, so I think of Lucifer every time I see Capricorn. No, no, no. And then Aquarius. So there's a general feeling just with the symbols. When I look at Virgo, it goes me. Now Leo is, to me, is like a Slytherin that got punched in the gut. Let me say, and got turned into a Griffin, maybe. Do you see that? And then Ophiuchus is like, you are flowing in life. All right, so let's go back to our next page. Now we're at 8:16. I feel like I did this wrong. That we're gonna deal with it. So here we are in Leo. That's why we do it again. We do it publicly. God. Okay, so this we're calling the ninja moon. So the Mercury retrograde is still correct. Yeah, it's the same. We're still the same boat. All right, so it was high Gabra. There's like high, it was like high Gabra level moon. So it's where our workout would begin. We say this again. We're calling it the ninja moon. It's like where our workout would start to really get good. So we're kind of taking this month off a little bit. And we also put a double aurora stripe on this moon. So we're gonna do a little bit less classes. We're gonna do the writing the Tao class, what it's like to write the Tao movie. Because it's a high Gabra. We're doing the 3 murder fates. And hell totems. So in the previous month, we did the guru delusions. And then the next one, we're doing the hell totems surrounding those gurus. And then the deeper hell component of what those guru delusions even ended up being. So the 3 murder fates and hell totems classes. And then we will be doing the I am pressing charges against those people with like a testimonial of those situations. So those will be like FBI tagged. Like, this was my actual personal testimony working with that person and all of the illegal activity that I saw and was forced to never talk about ever. Doesn't matter. Yep. So in this start workout. Down moon. All right, so the book we're gonna do is After the Future. And the scripts are the same. And then I may or may not do a Coffee Black episode that month. But do you see how like I'm still in the Hode area? Like I'm like, it's almost like I'm finalizing Hode here. I can feel that I'm finalizing Hode DCP at this space. It's like coming to a conclusion. All right. So that's August 16th. Now let's go to September 15th. Yeah, so that's the same. I don't know why I drew those wrong, but it's fine. So here we're gonna say this is our pensive review month off of thinking. So we're taking the month off from our script writing here because we need time to breathe and think. So you can see like here's Mercury and Leo, Mars is at Netzach on Virgo. So here is, and Sarah's is down here. So this is like we're going to take some time off and think about our life and what we're even writing or producing or creating. So Mars is like, no, this is like an A&R month, period. So we're somebody's saying this is where I take a break and instead of losing my cool, I do a lot of nodding instead. So like the classes I'm going to teach here are like the Mother Earth Forest mental body and mental body number 29. I forget what that is. And we have a whole list. It's all scheduled. All the Gabriel classes, like why Gabriel class 3 was bad. What we learned in Gabriel. The in and out pickle fallacies for like, then we're going to talk about the Mean Girls for Saints Club here in this. So take time off and think about everything. Do not lose your cool. So the scripts we write are 0, no scripts here. Maybe we're gonna do DWB. I don't know what DWB is. It says, oh, it's the Dragon Warrior book. Maybe Chris Pratt will come through and we'll download the Dragon Warrior book. Body book. Yeah. Because we started all that stuff up here. And then, so the book we're going to read this month is The World for, yeah. And we're going to read The Pig That Wants to Be Eaten. So see, like that, those books kind of work with pensive review month moon. Don't do anything stupid. You see how that feels, right? So that's in Virgo. Now we're gonna go 10, 14. We called this one the Sarah's Creative Wheatgrass Moon. You're gonna see why in 5 seconds. Okay. Here is Sarah's Mars, Mercury, the moon, and the sun. So it's like everything's dried out. Everything's at Netzach at Virgo. It's fall. It's like harvest time. So the harvest moon is probably the moon before, and this one's the secondary, but it's like October. We're in October. See how it's at Netzach? You see how like here she is with her wheatgrass also. Her pampas grass, her wheat. So here is like, oh, this is like a wholesome moon. Sarah's in general is like wholesome. It's just grounded. It's like prairie, it's like the prairie girl grounded moon. So the book we're going to read is Tibetan Book of the Dead. The classes we're going to do are like the mental bodies for earth, like sand and clay. We're going to do the Hufflepuff Temple video. We're going to do probably the Under the Tuscan Sun. We're going to talk about Venus retrograde here. We're going to do the Know Me book, the humanities book class. We're going to do the Hufflepuff sauces class. We're going to talk about the marijuana study versus CBD for Harvard, like a mandatory brain neural wiring ascension class. We're going to talk about on Odessa, the Harvard cooking class, the international cooking class with the CRI return value, and then humble pies. Do you see how like everything felt kind of like it's in the kitchen kind of, and it's abundant. So that's the Sarah's creative wheatgrass moon. We're going to go back to writing. We're going to go back to writing our Tao. We're now going to start DCP Netzach though. So Scripps is now at DCP Netzach. I took a month off. We're going to do the Tao. We're going to do copy black still. So now I'm looking at my 1, 5, 10, 20, and I said I wanted to do, that's not the 1, 5, 10, 20. I wanted to do just the coffee black pilot. But what really happened was when I looked at my schedule, I saw like I could write a bunch of episodes. And then when I saw that I should probably write I wanted to write DCPT for it. And I wanted to finish the Tao. Like what the reality was is that I'm going to get about 1/3 of the Tao written this next year. And the reality is like, I'm not going to write DCPT for it. And I'm not writing DCP Gebera because at the fall, I'm still at DCP Netzach just based off of the astrology weather. So now my brain is in harmony with what is already is. So now I'm at is thinking instead of what I'm going to try to force to happen and just bang my head against a brick wall. So those are the dumb ways of existence. My God. Okay, so the book we're reading again is the Tibetan Book of the Dead. So now we're also going into DCP Netzach, thinking about the Tibetan Book of the Dead. So that's cool. And now we're already at October. So now we're going into November, and that is 11, 13. So this is really where we should definitely, we're like thinking about the blueberry tree. So we're also probably thinking about the blueberry Christmas tree here at the Sarah. Yeah. So we're thinking about it even October when we see all the Christmas decorations. We're thinking about all of the red ribbons and blue balls that we have to create. So now we're definitely thinking about it. And we're calling this moon the Justice System moon. I'm going to show you why. It feels kind of like everything goes dark, and it's Mercury, Mars, and the moon. This again. In Libra. So it's the Justice System moon. So we might be going to court here, or thinking about going to court here. So now we're going to start looking at our classes like, I'm pressing charges against the White House. FBI hostage videos. We're going to do Mother Earth, Terra, mental bodies. We're doing Mother Andromeda's Slytherin acceptance policies. We're doing NASA and My Life as an Experiment video. We're doing the Mirror Prism readouts for Prim 1, Prim 2, and Prim 3. We're doing all our real testimonies videos here, even against my mother. We're doing UN Court 101 video. How would I take somebody into the UN court and hold them accountable? So like, what do I even need to do? So like, just the introductions. We're going to do a new tyranny video. We're doing the Egyptian divorce cord cutting video. The cabal wants to chop the arms off of A&R workers video. So the Griffin Phoenix Law video. We're doing the Purple Dahlia concerning privacy and PSYOPs experiments from the NSA and reptile spyware. The House of Raziel legal video will go in here. So now we're going, okay, so we are definitely in hardcore human justice system in this month. So now my scripts are this. It's also still DCP NetSuck. Because now I'm like, I'm a witch. Like, so how do I not be a psycho witch? And deal with human, yeah, so and deal with the humans. And then like that Coffee Black episode will look really interesting. The Dow goes dark in the at least the next month. Okay. So like the reptile standoff scene might happen from here. Now I'm going to look at the book that I'm reading and I go, I am absolutely doing this. I'm going to read Judy Blume's Blubber. And then I'm going to start reading the McKenna and Isla Christmas book. The one where she's riding on the little red dragon. And then McKenna is the little girl queen. So I'm going to read those books for Christmas because I have to produce like Auntie Ray Ray's book review for my nieces. We're going to talk about it. All right. They don't have to watch it. It might be dumb. Maybe they want to watch it because it's Auntie Ray Ray. But they'll know that I'm there. All right. Next is this. So I have two mistakes and it's just the astrology. So it's dumb. It's dumb to even have that considering how much time I put into it. So here we are at Scorpio. So we're going to go back and we're going to look at our astrology signs for a second. So we had that Leo moon and then we have the Virgo moon, two of them. We had 2 of those Virgo moons. And then we have this justice system moon. And now we have this Scorpio moon. Whoa, they're all right next to each other. Shocking. So we have this I will fuck you moon. Let me say this again. I will fuck somebody. That's what Scorpio is. So here we have Mars right next to it. So how do we fuck them in a good way? So here, this is our pillar of severity right here. We're missing Saturn. That's cool. So we are calling this the dark moon. It's the winter moon. It's already the winter moon anyway. Let me say this again. The moon closest to the winter solstice is the winter moon. Not as we call it the winter dark moon, but this is already, it's like the dark winter dark moon. And then we're gonna do this. We're gonna all caps severity. Jesus, like, so it's also it's Earth of Earth element. So things start going not so great after that. It doesn't matter how much light we put into the planet because we have to go to Earth of Earth elements. We're definitely still thinking about the blueberry tree. Absolutely. That's the light of our life, is that blueberry tree. Take to court. Testimonials. Go head forward against Cabal and Slytherin. Oh no. So this is like, I'm gonna sue Chris Pratt's wife also, or I'm gonna press charges against Chris Pratt's wife. Like that. The Kennedys. It's really, it's her and the Kennedys. Against Cabal, Slytherin. So then there we have like FBI, FBI. Virgo. And then this. Scorpio. So this is get grounded 100%. It's Christmas, holidays. Repella squibbed, I'm nodding. Simple. We're thinking about the blueberry tree in like bold here. Absolutely mandatory. Like that's the winter dark moon. So the more Hesed we can bring in to offset that, the better. So the more the blueberries, the better the outcome. Let me say that again. So maybe you want a 2,000, a 1,000 blueberry tree. Maybe you can only handle 500. blue baubles with repelloscriptum knots. Okay. So here we have our book and our scripts. So the classes here are like Gabriel V, working with Archangel Lucifer, Archangel Zofkiel. The 20-year war ahead. We're gonna redo the Enoch, Enochian Keys magic. We're gonna do the on hydrangeas, like Or Preps class. We're gonna do the Lilith Potter for Hesed #2. So we're getting nice downloads that feel mature. At this level, they're starting to feel more mature and developed. All right. So now we have our book. It's just Isla McKenna and the Christmas book. All right. So that's the year ahead. I'm going to definitely prep for this. We're calling it the new moon. Or the Jake Sully moon. And then we also have it in like, there is no such thing as Chris Pratt. Whatever he was is no longer, and at the very best, he's a completely new human. Whatever he thought he was is gone, and now it's something else. Period. So the classes here are like dark room. It's all the working with Jake Sully. I've got a good shot. Fallacy agreements, Hufflepuff fallacies, Harry Potter rescue op, more I live in a prison tomb. We're doing class construction. So we're starting to go like all the stuff, like all of Chris Pratt's classes. We're working with him, like what you would do if you had to rehab an individual from scratch, and how to train them up the tree, especially if they have superpowers and the soul contracts to ascend. So how you would do that. If you built somebody's glitter wand, let me say this again. You built somebody's glitter wand and you know what 7th house they're in, and you know that they're in the house of Ravenclaw, and like you have all this weird stuff and they're in jail. These people are like, so that's their lower self, and you're getting all the downloads from their higher self. And you're like, I've got to rehab them up the tree because we're like in Mother Mary's space. That's normal. That's normal. There's like nobody on this planet that's going to exist in the future unless we do that. They all have a gazillion layers of A&R work. They all have like just 50,000 hours of nodding. Okay. I smell smoke. All right. So the book, we're getting into reading this year, we're reading 25 books. So we're going to go the Emerson Essentials book. We're doing the Girl of Ink and Stars. Philosopher Queen. We're going to start with the Philosopher Queen's book. And we're going to go on the Genetics book, Genetics 101. So these are school books, school like Bible. Yeah, so those are like daily reads, kind of like the Tao. Yeah. So, and then we're gonna go like, what's the script that I'm gonna write? Oh no, we have to talk about the script for the winter dark moon. So now I know that the earth element goes dark. So I'm gonna write like the coffee black show, dark. Dark. And then I go Dow seems dark. Then I go DCP NetSock still. Yeah. So you say like I'm not gonna get DCP TFRET done. So my 1, 5, 10, 20 was great, but I already know, even looking at my schedule for the year ahead, that that's stupid and this is bad. This is smarter. This one's stupid and this is smart. All right, go take a break. We're gonna come back. All right. Take a deep breath. We're going to go over 2 things now. Go back and get another piece of paper and do the same thing over. Twice. Maybe I need to get that. Breathe. All right. That was nothing. So we're doing it again. One is going to be around Mercury and the other is going to be around Venus. Let me say this again. Oh. So we have these ideas and we have like this scrap. Like this is scrap. That's scrap, right? I have like ideas just kind of like jotted down of like what I would like to do in each scenario. That's cool. But now I need to go back and we're going to look at Mercury retrograde. We're going to look at the Venus events because we know how that influences everything. Man. All right. So we're going to go back and we're going to write down all the moons and we're just like the 11/23 moon is the miracle moon and the 12/23 is the avocado 7 habits moon and the 1/21 is the no 7th house or die next. So like I have the titles with the dates with the sign, the Scorpio sign. So I have the no with the so like everything is just nice. It's just simple. It's simple. Just the title from like up to the 1. I do it up to the Jake Sully moon. So this one's Mercury. So we're going to go over the 4 Mercury retrogrades that go through the year on here and what they're for. And then we're going to also look at all the classes and ideas that we were having about the classes and look at how they work with the Hermione's or the Hermetic Mercury review. Because sometimes we're going to put a class down and then we're going to realize that that's not in the same review area. So now it's dual layered. So we have the moon's influence, but now we have Mercury's real influence. So we're going to go over the first Mercury retrograde, which is like in between like in between December. Why didn't I write this down? That was weird. I wrote the Venus retrogrades down. I just circled it. That's what I did. Gross. Oh, I did write them down. I just didn't write down the first one. Okay, so I'm gonna go to share screen. Share. We're gonna go to my website and we're gonna go to, woohoo, we're gonna go to Kabbalah, we're gonna go to calendar, we're gonna Mercury. Oh, that's not Mercury. Here is our beautiful Mercury. Do you see how like I have a few upgrades to do on this. It looks kind of junky, but kind of artsy and pastel, but I can make sure that's even prettier and cleaner. So that's not at like the fullest, but I like it. All right, so we're gonna go and Mercury rules practical daily life, pragmatic thought, human trained behavior patterns. Now time, mental attention, clarity of mind, goal setting, organization, order, simple, clean living, productivity, general positive attitude, confidence, basic general logic, truth and honesty, productivity, money making, hard work, and good communication. That's Mercury. Nobody understands. Okay, so when Mercury goes into retrograde, that is not psycho. That's Hode. It's crappy Hode. You should have a mastery of this. So when it goes into retrograde, what we do is we look at our life in general, review our own psychosis. So this was last year's Mercury retrogrades. The dates do not match the same dates that are out there because I do it with the actual natural science dates. So here we are from December 21st of 2022 to January 31st. So this is the Hope and Light Mercury retrograde. Hope and light, closed circle, clippeth in ground. So we've entered earth element magic. We're at a closed karma circle on the clippeth in. This means that people that assaulted are now confessed. They did not clean up their clippeth of their own volition. They did not serve Mother Earth of their own volition. They waited for a bunch of crystal children to do it for them as they jerked off, apparently. Yep. So a lot of them sat and meditated idly while they collected a bunch of money and then stabbed people. They also took a lot from the earth, like they have giant homes and gas-filled cars, and that does not record well in the clippeth. Now, none of those people, in my experience, have extreme levels of charity. Like none of them are Nanny McPhee at all. So they have huge karma bills against Netzach. Let me say this again. Their karma against Netzach, just Netzach, is too great to pay. So where are you still not connected to the earth element enough? Through the deepest recess hell pits. So we're also, it says start sun and solar magic. So you see how this Mercury retrograde's like a magic spell? So it starts sun and solar magic. So right now we're starting, oh my God, the 7th house Hufflepuff entry via the 7th house Netzach. So that is where we're at. There's our hope and our light coming through. That's a magic spell. Okay, so that's our first circle. So I have all these Hufflepuff videos that I need to get done. So all these Hufflepuff and like 7th house Netzach, like all of that should be getting done in this sphere. just based off of what the Mercury retrograde looked like. Our next Mercury retrograde is gonna go, we're gonna go to April 12th. All right, so here is our pattern. So you're gonna see it go backwards. So you see at the apex point. So April 12th to May 25th. So we're just gonna go through the days. You're gonna look at it's at Aries. There's a lot of secrecy in this Mercury retrograde. Let me say that again. This is kind of like a silent Mercury retrograde. We're gonna call it the clandestine time. You have Uranus. Do you see how Mercury's looking like it's moving backwards? So that's what Mercury retrograde looks like. See how it's moving backwards? Now it's going to start moving forwards. So it's, yeah. So we're calling this the clandestine. So it's going to war clandestine. We're calling it Archangel Kamael. Archangel Kamael's clandestine Mercury retrograde. So in this space, it's like I look at all my classes that I'm going to teach and all the scripts that I'm going to write. And what moons, it's the prepping writing, the start writing, and I get to be an asshole. So this is like, I'm looking at this Mercury retrograde and I'm looking at all the scripts and classes and I go, that makes sense. How I'm going to perceive me starting the writing is like an act of war, an Archangel Kamael's act of war instead of just an everyday passerby. Yeah, so you don't have to be in the Archangel Kamael. You can just be in the Gryffindor team and it will still be, or Ravenclaw team, still be, where is my prepping to go to war? Clandestine style. So that's why we're calling it the Mercury retrograde. Silence. Period. All right, the next one starts in that's August 5th. So this one's the action. This is like around the ninja moon. So this one's like action, action, action. Please definitely put the sphere. So here is like, here it's around Leo and Cancer. To like 9/19. So this is like, so you can feel it like, it's like we're preparing to go to action. So we're past the ninja moon. And we're like getting into the pensive review moon. And that's like in our pensive review moon is like, don't do anything stupid. So we're going to look at all of our actions and it should be like working out. It should be like we're in full absplosion mode here. We're at like high Ashtanga yoga levels. We're in our good martial arts classes. And that's it. And we have masters that are telling us to do nothing other than train. So we'll call it we're calling it the training. The training. Let me say this again. We're calling it the training Mercury retrograde. Do not do anything stupid. Do you see how it's like it goes to the lion's roar? Like, don't do anything stupid. And then Mars is right there. Like we're just training. It might be like a football right before a football match game. Have the players come on the field and do their dance to put off their enemy. It's like a show of strength. So that's that Mercury review. And it goes into our pensive mental review month for the moon. All right, so the final Mercury review is December. That is December 1st. Oh my God. So we're right around the Ascended Master. Look at that. So we're going to talk about, this is the Earth of Earth of Earth. There's Mars also with Ceres. So this is our blueberry. This is still our blueberry tree. This is a big blueberry tree. Don't confuse. So we're going into the 20. So that's to offset the negativity about super grounding. We're super grounding next year. Come on. You guys are also graceful. So, yep, here we go. We're back at Mercury with Ophiuchus. Look at this. And you can also see Dumbledore over here. Here's Dumbledore, and here's Ophiuchus. So we're getting instruction, and we're moving forward in life. All right. So we're gonna call that we're gonna call it the blueberry. We're calling it the blueberry. Like we're just thinking about blueberries all day long. Blueberry spice pie. We're gonna be making blueberry spice pie that Christmas. Okay, so that's Hode. That's just Mercury. So how Mercury influences our schedule. So now you're gonna think about, maybe I didn't want some of those scripts or those classes in those situations. So Hode offsets the dark component of that moon. Let me say this again. That Mercury retrograde actually brings in the positivity surrounding that dark moon, especially if you're focused on all the blueberries. It's for the Ascended Masters. So you become in a space of neutral at that time. My report is that I would probably be eating shit from Spielberg at the worst. That's what that Mercury retrograde would be like. In like with that dark moon at the worst. And that's just even via the astral planes. All right, next. June. All right. We have 4 events for Netzach. So we have another one. We have another circle. We have 5 events. We have Venus bright. Where Venus is as bright as possible. Then we have Venus at 100%. They're not the same. Then we have Venus backlash. So like wherever Venus is bright, then you have the Venus yin. And that's the worst. That's when Slytherin attacks you. So like there's always a Venus backlash in the Harry Potter books. Let me say this again. Every time there's an issue where Harry like is being assaulted by a Death Eater is like a Venus in yin. Let me say this again. Venus at backlash is when Slytherin attacks you and you don't understand it because they attack you and you weren't paying attention to the point that that's what was going to happen. And so then you have to respond and move forward. Now the Slytherin on this planet is like muggles, but they still have guns and walkie-talkies and spy tech. So it's different. It's a different war, isn't it? So we have we have the evening star. We have the morning star. We have the retrograde in between. Also, all right, so we're gonna talk about that. How Venus influences your life. Let's look. Do you see the difference between Venus and Hode just by the artwork? So Venus is like a Georgia O'Keeffe painting. And Hode is like more form, but still a little chaotic. Kind of explosive. Yeah, so here's like the second star to the right. I'm taking this and I'm gonna redo the background, and I'm like, this is just the scrap. This is scrap, and we're gonna put it on green, a lot of green. And this is the Peter Pan second star to the right. We're in Neverland here. So this is like, let there be light and creativity, finally. So Venus rules art, Mother Earth, beauty and nature, romantic love, emotions, feelings, animal magic, drawing, painting, writing, music, creativity, higher society concepts, art appreciation, finer craft work, fae, like fairies, elemental muses, the intuitive brain, gut emotional health, quality organic food, elevation through Netzach, House 1 magic, and Slytherin. So all of that sounds amazing, and it's just Slytherin. Let me say that again. All of that sounds like God, and it's Slytherin. We have a law that it's 7th house Netzach mandatory. So it's not Slytherin. So you're not allowed to be in actual Slytherin on this planet. You're required 7th house. That's Baba G's law. That's what happened this summer. That law didn't exist until there were 500 death threats at my front door. There was a much lesser law. It was 1st house Navi Netzach. where people would decide that they were going to harmonize with Mother Earth in just beautiful intuition. And then I got 500 death threats. And then it became 7th house or nothing. There are consequences to how you treat ascended masters that are going to be moving forward. Period. You don't have to be a bad person. You have the free will to choose good. All right. So we have this retrograde from last year. And the morning star. Okay, so our retrograde, we're going to go to the dates. So we have our circle. We have our circle right here. So it's in the middle of the year. So it's in the middle to the fall of the year. So it's from June to November. We say this. It's from June to November, the evening to morning star. So it's late June to October is the retrograde. Now this last Netzach or Venus retrograde that I went through, I put up 500 movies that I decided, not 5. We came up with 30 different movies that we would decide to write and 10 different businesses. There was an entire download of creative movement forward, just an idea concept. I did not know at all that that's what would happen. I did not know Venus retrograde would be like the inspirations from God for how I would move forward with my life. So this year's Venus retrograde, I do not know what's going to happen, but we have an idea. So it starts at the I will pop your bubble. We're going to go through it a little bit. So it's June. We're going to say it June 24th. We're going to look and see, and we're going to read the stars. That's 24. You go to 23. That's gross. We're not in the 1800s. No, no. I know I have too much stuff going on my computer. So we're going to look at this and we're going to see the, can I zoom out? Not really. So let's look at, it's Mars right there. It's Mercury and then Uranus and Jupiter. So it's like a awkward. It already looks creatively awkward. So then I'm going to look at the next month. still creatively awkward. So we're in the I will pop your bubble, the interesting moon, the ninja moon. So like this was kind of the pensive review moon. Like, what am I saying? This is, I should be working out. So I'm in a, like it still says creative awkward. Seriously, probably the only message coming through. And then we go, here we're in August, and we're like getting creative strong. After this, so this is that's the Gabriel Dow movie. We're like in DCP Netsock now. Yeah, so now we're like, oh, this is where DCP Netsock begins, is during this retrograde. So now we can really look at what like DCP Netsock is. So that's kind of cool. I do not see getting a bunch of ideas like I did in the last Venus retrograde. I see like me moving forward in a strong way, looking at my life and like how it would apply to my creation and my creative material. We're going up to we're at October, that we're there. So that's the Venus retrograde. It's like it almost feels like in one ear, out the other, but we gained. We created a smooth gain. And that's probably what is coming, is that it's like you'll get like a nice play written, or you'll get DCP Netsock done, or you'll get like a jewelry piece made that was actually worth saving. Something refined and excellent. In one ear, out the other, and we created a game. I think that will be how we sell that. Venus in full force is this date, I believe. This might be dumb. I might have researched it wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong. Do my best. I'm sorry, you guys. All right, so here we're at Venus. This is Venus at full bright. It's at Cancer. We did not see Venus at full bright is at the ninja moon. There's nothing exceptional there. Full creation. Full creation. So this is where creative material got strong. We can create the Tao. We can create the good Gabriel classes. We're getting the good Gabriel coming through in our creative material. So we've got our good ninja downloads, our Zen brain, like in realized life practices where we're thinking about it and it's coming into fruition. So we have ability to reflect on it and then have actual deep thoughts that are then produced back into the real world. Venus at bright. A month later, we're calling it the follow through. So this is where like, woo, DCP Netsock actually gets made or even begins. So this might be where the piece of jewelry births into reality. So that's where we're calling that. I'm not very strong with this Venus retrograde or Venus. We just started it last year. So I have to look at it for another 5 years before I get really intelligent surrounding everything. We're going to talk about a year in advance. What happens after this Venus bright is a Venus backlash, and that's going to happen about August of the year 2024, and that's the Umbrage boxing event, where it's like how Harry Potter gets assaulted by Umbridge at double standards from every angle. And this means like the Windsors will do it to you, or the United States government will do it to you. Let's say if Ed Snowden was 100% innocent at all angles, they would still do it to him. And it's like prosecuting a lamb for being a lamb. That is exactly what is Umbridge, just so we understand. So it's really good to get as clean an A&R as possible, and with as much repello squibtum by that time as possible, so you have at least some ability to defend yourself. It's really easy to attack somebody who's dark. It's psycho to attack Jesus. And that is what the Venus backlash to this Venus bright will be. That Venus backlash is Umbridge arresting Jesus Christ. Let me say this again. It would be like the government putting Greta in jail for doing nothing. That is what the Venus backlash the following year to this Venus bright is. So you must be taking consideration, not paranoia. It's take consideration. So I'm an Auror, so I'm always going to look for what the Venus backlash is, because my job is to punch it in the face. So some of you are like, I need to be in that space. That's okay. We'll get there in life. Others are, you're okay if you're not there. All right. So there we go. So there's our, I can think about things. I can think about my schedule. I now have the ability to go in and write an entire page surrounding every moon, and with the 500 classes that I have to do, maybe I only want to put a couple of classes in. But like, I have classes. This is the marriage and Asperger book. And then this is all the classes on I get to be an asshole moon. And then I have the Mercury, we're in the Mercury retrograde 2 here. And then here are the scripts I'm going to write. So I understand the astrology under this moon completely. And I have my checks of like, where did I post the video? Do I have it on backup? Do I have it on YouTube? Do I have it on do I have it on the web, on my website? Do I have it on my schedule? Like, schedule check. Is it on Kelly, under Kelly? Is it under Isla? On my Facebook? Where did I post it? So I like have an idea of how to reconcile the 5,000 pieces of data I have moving forward, so that even if I had to take another job, I could. Let me say this again. Even if I had to take another job, I could. Because I have everything organized and I have a plan with backup contingency ability. Like every class that I cannot accomplish may go next year, but at least I have an entire record of it, and why I wouldn't even get it done to begin with. And better than that, all my books are scheduled. My scripts are scheduled. So even if they're junk scripts, they're going to get written. My magical image is physical written scripts to hand to Aaron Sorkin. Let me say that again. My magical image is physical scripts to hand to Aaron Sorkin. My other magical image is my yoga Yoda. So where we've started that. Where are my other, like my other magical images? I forgot my magical images. Like my music. Oh, the music is like me redoing the song for Hans Zimmer. I have that. I also have a Ravenclaw genetics magical image. I have private magical images also, but I'm not going to talk about those. Like you can have magical images about your personal life that are like sacred, that are not about your like professional business. And then my magical image of me as a dragon lady, 80-year-old ninja martial arts teacher is still there. And then like I'm also a Kabbalah teacher. I don't even need that. Like, do I need that magical image? I am that magical image. Every day. Okay. So that is the beginning. That's the beginning. Now I have to go in and I have to change out my website. Now I have a whole daily checklist that I have to alter or make sure is aligned with just this. And then this equals, oh my God. So I have a 1 month, my 1 month or my 2 month, so that on like, oh, I have 20 classes I have to produce, scripts I need to do, and a book. Now I can look at it in a 1 month perspective. How do I break all those classes down into my months? Then I can break it down into my 2-week classes or my absolute. I have 8 spaces for the week, and then I have 8 spaces for the week ahead on top of my month schedule, on top of my astrology schedule, on top of my book, with my checklist that's daily, with my 1, 5, 10, 20 that I can keep in my wallet, because I shouldn't have to look at it every single day, but it's still nice to have. And then this initial scrap piece can go into the fire. It can go into the lava pit. You see this? This can go into the lava pit because you'll have those month-long schedules. And then all of the trash 2-week ones. So I am 2 week, I am 2 week, I'm 2 week. I'm going to get my schedules really good. So if you're only doing a 2-week schedule, it's because you're lame and you're dumb. Checklist daily. 2-week, month, and then year, and then your year astrology with Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde and your book. Now, for every class I did not get scheduled that was on my brain, it goes into the next pages because I have to do it the following years no matter what. So whatever I can't get scheduled still gets written down in my Bible. And then my brain doesn't go insane. Let me say this again. everything that you will produce in your magical world is to keep your brain in the sanity checkbox. Ravenclaw is antipsychotic. So when we want to murder somebody because they cross 5 billion boundaries and they're against the law in every, it's like all you do is CRI all day long. And you're like, I'm in an apex of 100%. I'm in double Auror stripe CRI. And all you see are people breaking every single law in the universe. You go, forgive. And that's the blueberry tree. You go, knots and a blueberry of forgiveness, because that's all you're gonna see are dumb muggles breaking. They break the law in the physical world. That's like a human law. And they don't care. Like the FBI are arresting pedophiles right now that run entire rings of hundreds of children. And you're like, I'm calculating CRI. And I'm in triple Auror stripe travel CRI analysis. Based off of highest karmic value return thought analysis patterns. Because that's what an ascended master is like. And how the rest of the world is insane. All right, Collie Run out. Like magic fingers. All right. Someday I'm gonna get the ribbon and I'm gonna run it around my entire. I'm gonna do a braid and we'll run around my entire. Like right now, I'm just folding it in so that it looks like the actual picture online. So we're really kind of just right now remarking about the element of process instead of final product. This scheduling right now at this current juncture, we have this scheduling as every time you like the mistakes, the process of evolution. Every time I build a weekly schedule and it fails and I have to rewrite it, and then I burn it, and I burn it on my Ravenclaw Gryffindor plates. Let me say this again. I have burning plates. So sacred burning practices. Let me say this again. I have burning plates built out of mosaic tiles that are set up for blue marks and pink marks, Gryffindor and Ravenclaw. All right, so I burn it on my burning plates. Let me say this again. Someday I will have Auror burning plates. And what it will be is a stack of 5 tiles. 5 tiles that have been cemented together. And it would be like black, 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 but in like special alchemical formulas. And so that when I burn something, it's at an Auror level. So it's at a 5-stripe Auror level. Let me say this again. When I burn my pages, it will be at a 5-stripe Auror level. And in those spaces, I will put secret alchemy formulas. Right now, we currently have about 20 pounds of Gryffindor astral for every time we do a mistake on our schedule. That sounds cool. So that's where we're at right now. That's the highest light. That's the highest energy return. So like, if you think about it, so I'm 120 pounds. So that's at least 6 weeks of mistakes for me to start correcting my mistakes. To start putting in the actual weight of non-evil via Yesod. Let me say this again. The reason why magic doesn't manifest on this planet is because you need the appropriate weight resistance against your own bad patterns. So if we have 20 pounds, we have 20 pounds of astral light at Gryffindor. For every page, it's about 6 weeks. It's about like, so but then it's like every 2 weeks. So it might be every 6 months, depending on my cellular metabolism and how much weight I will need. Like maybe it's 6 months. So we're going to have to calculate the actual science. But I know, because maybe we have to double it. So maybe we have to put 20 pounds of new, so it has to be 240 pounds. And then you have to talk about half-lives and like exponential rationing values, and it's not like the actual exact weight. So it's like it's grading on a curve. Remember, we're grading on curves here in the magic world. But we know right now the current juncture is that we're at 20 pounds of Gryffindor. So it's 20 pounds of red ray. And so the red ray is going to stop everything. That's the resistance, the non-evil resistance. So that's Mars, the first signs of Earth element. So we have 20 pounds of Gryffindor astral for every schedule, review, and rewrite. So that's what that's the highest magic CRI return on this planet. I am Hermes, the master of schedules. Let me say this. I am the god. This is my specialty. It's a 12-hour masterclass on creating a schedule via the mental bodies. There is nothing better on this planet. Period. I can write an entire book on scheduling analysis and time management and organization and with CRI return values. And so this is huge. So in between me and the girls and with Kelly, again, it's like 20 pounds of Gryffindor astral. So how do we make that value higher? That's the next question. And so I'm going to go into myself, and then I'm going to go, how do I make that value higher? And then I go to Rava, and I go Rava, like Odessa, how do you, because none of you guys are going to have the answers to that. I promise. It's going to be in the Five of Pentacles card where it's give. So, let me say that again. Oh, God. How... Sorry, I can't manage my own sense of humility. It's gonna be in the five, like where you have nothing and then you just give anyway. So that's how we're gonna make that value higher in life. you're the starving person on the beach, and then you're the one also at the same time giving out $1,000 donation to a homeless person. So like that, that's the Gryffindor. That's the Gryffindor Gaybera. So it will come from that level of insight and intuition. Period. How do I budget so I can just give? Is the real question in life. And then we go, how do I budget my time so we can just give? So that's Red Ray at its finest. So it's above charity. It's 500 times the charity. And if you're not there, you're never going to go into the higher ascended master worlds. Period. So, like, Brooke and Star, like, take. So it's the opposite. So they were confessed because they're not of a Hesed. They won't give A&R work. They won't give healing sessions. They won't give money. They won't even give communication. They won't give connections. They won't give anything. It's all take on there. It's 100. They're at 100% take. So we're gonna arrest them because they were at 100% take, and then we gave $11,000 to them, and then they stab us. And then they stab us when we try to produce a planet of ascension. And then when we communicate with them, they run. So that's life. So when we tried, like, I tried to talk to Star about 6 months ago. 6 months ago. I was online with her, and I was confronting her via Simon, because she will talk to Simon, but she won't talk to me. And I got to say 2 sentences, and then she blocked me, and she left. She ran. So that's a sign of a con artist and a fraud. So an ascended master doesn't have that issue at all. They're able to receive information and then work with it in the now. Even if they're the flawed, wrong ones, they're able and humble enough to go, like, I will reason with you. So that's a mastery of Hode, is pragmatism and reasonability. I can work with. So that's like mandatory. So that's kind of the same thing, like your schedule. So you have to. So why is Brooke and Star coming up? So an ascended master goes, I can work with you. I will be flexible. I will not be mentally rigid. I will be grounded and pragmatic. So when you make an awful schedule, and you're the bad guy, but your schedule is the client or the student, and it's like, I'm bleeding because of what you did. You go, I will work with you. I will work with you, and then I will figure out better. We will learn. I will figure out. So it's every single time we are making mistakes. So just on a basis of schedule alignment, and understand, like, little children are being slaughtered or kidnapped because you're not in, like, ascended master or space. So it's still like, I'm bleeding because of what you did. That's the real reality of it. If you're like an adult or like an adult ascended master, I'm gonna learn how to be an or. Like, like there are little girls being FGM'd in Africa because you don't have your shit together. Let me say this again. There are little girls in the Middle East and in Africa, and this is the public domain. This is the public, this is not the FGM underground ring or the black market of organs being sold through the American reptile system. So this is the known teaching. In the Middle East and in Africa, little girls are being FGM'd because you don't have your schedules working to even elevate yourself into something better. So we gotta do that. All right, so we're gonna calm down and we're gonna go forgive. We're gonna forgive because we're like in the human world, and we're gonna try. We're gonna try to become ascended people, elevated ascended people. All right, so I see my schedule, and I have to accommodate for exhaustion. So I'm like pushing my schedules for like 9 hours of sleep. And it should be like I'm writing my schedule for 10 hours of sleep. But then I don't get everything done. And then I can't fit so I need to do it for at least 10 hours of sleep. And then sometimes I need 11 hours of sleep just because I'm in pure exhaustion space. Even if it wasn't sleep, it would be an extra 2 to 3 hours of like quiet meditation time so that I could regenerate. Period. And that's not the nodding meditation time where my brain has to work. It's the actual delta meditation time. So we're gonna put our tail between our legs and we're gonna go down and we're gonna reach deeper levels of earth element, and we're gonna see all our wires gridding up into the planet, and we're gonna grid into the whole planet, earth of earth level, and the metal wires are like a grid. If it doesn't feel like knife rape anymore, that's because we did excessive levels of cleaning, and Chris Pratt got really strong, and he cleaned up a lot of the knife rape on this planet. He is not a healthy person at this current juncture, but he did a lot of hero level astral work on this planet. So we're just gonna grid that. And then every time we see the metal prongs, they're gonna grow. They're gonna grid. We're gonna put the pearly jelly on each of the anchor points of our cube grid. Into our earth. How do you get your cube grid into the core of the earth? Now, how do you raise that up above the earth and on the other side of the planet? So it's in the air element. And then put the pearly jellies at all the anchor points. So it's almost like you're sitting in an avocado of metal wire mesh, etheric metal wire mesh. And now we're gonna blanket cover pearlescent jelly on all of it. Now, if you've started all of your Rapello squibtums, it's really easy to then like anchor, especially if you like have it on your keychain like this. It's really easy for you to visualize and think about like every single little corner has like a little Rapello squibtum on it. The physical plane's hard. The astral plane's really easy after you do the physical plane. If you want to make like a diagram, if you're like a builder or a scientist, you want to, or an artist, you can make a world built out of wire mesh in little cubes and then draw it and then make it into like a physical structure, and then I will anchor, and then you can put little pearl glue dots or beads on every single corner. That anchors things into the earth element. Let me say it again. That anchors it into the earth element. Right now my body feels like it's being ripped apart. All right, so now we're gonna put the Petri dish goo glue on us at 50 layers down into the earth and then 50 layers up. And we're gonna think about all the pages. We're gonna think about all these pages going into in between all the lasagnas. Like our egg is 50 layers down of these pages beneath us, and then 50 layers above, and it's just filled with all of them, preferably on recycled paper. Ha 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 ha. Now we're gonna paint that with like Netzach green and then phthalo green. Those pages. And then we're gonna turn it to russet. So it's like dried out. They're dried out pages. And we're gonna put like cyan colored lighter fluid on it, like Jedi blue cyan, on all those pages that turned into russet, and we're gonna turn that on fire like it's liquid acid. So it should be plasma, fire, plasma, fire, plasma, fire, plasma, fire. And then the fire turns into healthy Yesod Astral. Let me say this again. It's like grape jelly with air, like that smoke is like a buttery purple smoky ether. And now we're gonna put in more Petri dish goo glue on all that ether. Somebody's like, I definitely have done that many pages of bad schedules. Man. It's kind of like an old, it's a especially if it's in the Clipith, it's a forgiveness spell on all your old bad schedules. So each page, let's say it, each page that I burn is 20 pounds of Gryffindor astral light. Physical. So then it feels like a then you're a dragon if you're in this class. So now we're gonna fill it in with ether sludge. It's like gray cake or gray paste, but like finer. Now we're gonna put it in purple sludge, like purple earth element ether into the beneath your feet. I'm really bad at scheduling. And then we're gonna do this. So we're trying to burn out our scheduling demons. So we can move forward in life. All right, so now we're gonna do 50 layers of Gryffindor lasagna, which is it looks like lava or like red and yellow, and the salvia hexia honeycomb. It's like honeycomb with spice, but it's hot and lava-y. So it burns and it purifies, and then it's that griffin blue paste in between. So you have the honeycomb, and then you have the griffin blue paste. Then you have the honeycomb, and then you have the griffin blue paste on the spicy honeycomb, the Gryffindor. So that's the Gryffindor lasagna. So 50 layers beneath your feet. And then 50 layers up. And all around. So it purifies anything out of your astral body that's stuck. And then you're still in the good communication spaces. There's a reason why it offsets with the griffin blue paste first. Jedi blue, griffin blue, cerulean blue, cobalt cerulean. This is also to prevent people from interfering. So like Star and Brooke are anti-schedule demons. They don't believe. They're at their left-hand path, like at 100%. They don't believe in schedules. They don't believe in linear anything. They don't believe in Hode. They don't believe in logic or mathematics. And they don't believe in like honesty, order, or form in any capacity, which would be required to be any kind of elevated ascended master on this planet. So you'll feel, as we're still confessing them out, you'll feel influences from them where they're trying to sabotage your schedules. It's pretty absurd. You'll also feel them telling you, like, you guys working out is wrong, eating well is wrong, that they own your thoughts or your downloads. Even if your download came from a dragon, Star will say that it came from her. And, like, I talk to fairies, and they say things about nature magic all day long. And then Star will say that it was her, so you'll still hear them in your brain. But a big thing is them assaulting your schedule daily. This has been going on for infinity. They don't value your time. And they don't value anything that's pragmatic or grounded. They don't care if they waste 5,000 hours of your time. So just know that. And they're still, if I'm still battling them in the astral planes, then you guys are still battling them in the astral planes. Believe me. So, and if it's not them, it's other anti-schedule demon people. All right. So we're going to do one more layer of that. Another layer of the Gryffindor lasagna. But this time it's going to be hot pink in between. Star and Brooke don't even have good schedules in their own daily lives. So there's that. I know because I went and lived with Star for 8 months. And all she did was waste my time every single day. She did not work. She made everybody miserable with how anti-schedule she was. Nothing ever got done. And nothing ever, like, the things that got done would be like a narcissism birthday cake that looked awful with 200 people there making a cake. Yeah, like it. I'm not joking. It looked like a trashy cake, like a 5-year-old would make it, and they had 200 people there trying to make it, and it was a giant disaster. So there was nothing about mastery or ascended mastery in any respect. Sorry. Someday we will not be talking about Star because she won't exist anymore. And then we have the lava, still burning it. Okay. Should start feeling all right and pretty decent. So every time I crack through my body, it's like a big energy block forward movement. Still going through the head. All right. We're bringing on the new genetics from the earth plate level, so it's hardcore. It's not simple. Now we're gonna go with the Ravenclaw. So it's the pearlescent honeycomb with this color, this Ravenclaw blue paste in between. 50 layers down. Maybe you get the down like 100 layers down. Just go 50 layers down. And then 50 layers out. What you're gonna recognize, you're gonna get really intelligent and grounded, is like what I wrote down was actually like that mattered. So if you're not there, then you're in like a psychosis brain. So then you actually care about what you write down in the future also. So it begets itself. So it's anti-psychotic. And then maybe you start to feel a little bit of the positivity that comes through, where you go, I can do this. Because now we're in the lower astral and it feels pretty clean at the deep unconscious levels also. So now I'm gonna put in like a intelligentsia liquid filler to fill in any of the holes. So it's like this or more intelligent. Oh, it might look green. Maybe you put in the grow organically with time charm, astral planes. And then we're gonna look in and we're gonna see, can we get earth, green earth to come through beneath our feet? And then we want to put like schedule optimization glue in the green earth. The petri dish goo glue, but it's like gotta make sure my schedule's even better charm. Like make sure it, like how do I do that? So that when I walk, I'm walking on like solid ground. All right. You should start to feel whole in your body. You should feel kind of calm, grounded, and centered with your schedule. It should look and like you should have it written down where your brain's not going insane at this juncture. If you're in this space where you're still frantic about it, it's because you didn't do the work. When you do it, when you did it, like your taxes, like when you do it, then it takes you from frantic to just like, well, that was nothing. Earth element, calm. When you have your schedule in your book, it's like calm. The point is like your schedule or your to-do list should not be creating sympathetic fight or flight responses in your neural circuitry daily, ever. You should be in parasympathetic Zen yoga space. So your to-do list, your to-buy list, your budgeting list, like all of that should be written down and it should be like that. Because it's hoed. Let me say this again. It's hoed, and that creates antipsychosis. You can still be flexible with it, but you need it, and you need to stay focused on it daily or daily. That's the grounded version. All right. How do I stay with it centered daily? We're going to pour on our hoed jelly. Just a little bit. It should be orange jelly. How do I create with this schedule module and improve it or better? So we did earth element. Now we're doing orange jelly. If you want to pour orange oil on it before you go set it on fire, just to remind you, it's not a bad idea. Okay. That should feel good. It should feel good in your body. It should feel good in your left brain. Where your left brain's not going, how do I do everything? Let me say this again. You shouldn't have a question in your brain, like your left brain should not be going, how do I do all that? How do I buy all that? It should have figured it out with contingency plans. And it should be written down. There's nothing that you can't do. Like, there's nothing you can't schedule. There's nothing you can't schedule. It takes health and like willpower and like special energy forces from God, but also good schedules. All right. Nobody has like the romantic, like nobody's got that worse than I have it. And if I've gotten through it, then all of you guys can deal with it. There's like there's no guy that can't be got. There is there is not like there's almost no guy worth it either, and so then there's that. There's no money that can't be made. There's no like level of fame that can't be had. There's nothing. And now we have our path to like there's no house that cannot be entered in Hogwarts. We have that level on the planet. So the idea of chasing anything is insanity. Period. And like nobody's got a gaping soul wound of a long lost love. Like just they would have written a movie about it, believe me. Like there's nothing that nobody's lost their favorite child more than me losing Isla or McKenna. Period. Like there's nothing, there's no gaping hole on the planet that would ever prevent anybody from being able to do this. There is no, like, so this is like mandatory. All right. We're going to come to a close. That was Context and Longevity Arrangements. Video 19, it's Mental Body 19.2. It's how to schedule with astrology and good value systems. All right, Kali Run out.